So coming out of quarantine was literal bliss. 10 days, the first few were okay, and then you actually do hear the sound of the clock ticking. You're like, has it been an hour? And it's only been 4 minutes. So just getting out of Ramada was something we'd been waiting for, and it was exciting. First stop, of course, you guessed it, coffee. Grabbed a nice cuppa and had a bit of a sit down. And the second stop, of course, a Korean perm. Who would have thunk it? I just needed something that's very Korean. And we went in there. It was very systematic. First, you remove all your outer layers, and there were quite a few because it was bloody cold. And then, of course, this contraption some of you may have seen, an entire proper Korean perm experience. Quick drying after the whole thing was done, and I had really cute beach wavy hair, and of course, ramen for lunch. Next stop was a really special place, a place that I absolutely loved and had to go to when I saw it on Instagram, the Starfield Library. It's a very, very beautiful space, of course, extremely Instagrammable. This is me trying to figure out where my photo was going to be taken because, you need a special one. So, of course, about 360 attempts later on this escalator up and down, we finally did get a good shot. All of that made us a little hungry and peckish, so we stepped into this cafe, but it was also a little bit to get away from the cold because it was freezing by this time. So here we are, and this was very French, this cafe, and fantastic pastries. But of course, we're in Korea, so as many choices as there are, not much for vegetarians. This particular trip to the Mural Village was one of my favorite parts of our trip because it was such a special, very unique part of Korea. So it was a little bit hard to find at first, and when we did, we could see what they were talking about on the blogs. So it's just this street lined with kind of street art, wall art, and just murals all over, but it was actually a proper functioning village. So people were living there, businesses were functioning there. So we had to be kind of discreet with our movements. You can't really intrude, but still tourists get to really sort of enjoy this side of life in this mural village. Another part of it was that there was a lot of climbing, a lot of stairs, and you get to the top and there's a little bit of a crazy beautiful view, which we loved, of course, huffing and puffing, but who cares? And of course, this foresty bit or park bit with autumn leaves and all of that, which we didn't really explore much of because we were all walked out for the day, but this view was beautiful. And really cute boutique store with handmade stuff. Of course, I had to support local artists, so I bought stuff. Yeah, that's why I did it. That was the reason, not because I'm a shopaholic. Climbing up this massive hike of stairs situation. Hopefully we'll get a good view right at the top. Hopefully. Maybe not. Who knows? But I will not ask him. What do we have here? Let me show you. Another path. This was such a beautiful view of the Dongdaemun area of Seoul and the sunset. What can I say? It's beautiful. Got a little hungry and cold, and Shake Shack to the rescue. Haven't really been there in Seoul. This was the first time, but thereafter we did frequent it. We went there like 3 or 4 times just for this veggie burger, which was delish. Next day, we decided to head to Hongdae, which is a very popular university area. It's known for shopping. It's known for a lot of sort of international cuisine. So we had to go. We've been there before. This was the second time around, and it was a fresh perspective because it is colder and a lot of the places were new, and of course spotted a dog buying new clothes. Cute. So to get away from the cold, we walked into a Starbucks, and in Seoul, Starbucks are always full. We can never get a seat, but we managed to, therefore the smile, and we are warm in here. Next was a quick vegetarian lunch minus the egg, which we did not eat, but it was pretty yum and warm. Next day, we really wanted to explore Insadong, which is a very popular touristy area, and it's an entire street full of very touristy things, very traditional Korean things. You can explore traditional Korean artistry, food, and just a different vibe entirely. And we loved the food there, where you can get authentic Korean dining experience at a place like this, but choosing which one to go into was a little tough. Finally picked one, and in we go. Also kind of safe from the cold in here, and this dining experience was very, very good because they had quite a few vegetarian options, and you will see them soon enough. So a lot of tofu based food, a lot of bean sprouts, a lot of rice, and this is a bibimbap, of course, which is one of our faves, and miso soup, and this is the vibe inside. It's very traditional, very authentic Korean.
You want show? Yeah. Please come to the jar. First step here. This honey, honey and cornstarch. No sugar, sugar free. Fermented honey, fermented. So very hard. Now eating broken teeth. So now making 16,000 honey strings, like noodles. You original from where?
Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka? You have a religion?
Buddhism.
Oh, what religion?
Buddhist.
Buddhist.
Yeah.
Oh, you can eat anything.
No.
No?
We are vegetarian.
Vegetarian. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it no meat?
No meat.
No fish.
No.
Yes. Stretching. 만드는 거 보려고. 우리 친구들 이쪽으로 please one step. 이쪽으로 앞으로 들어오세요. 삼촌이 뭐 만들 거냐면 이렇게 생긴 과자예요. 꿀타래라고 임금님 과자예요. 우리 삼촌이 이걸로 만들 건데 잘 보여요? 우리 키 작으니까 이에 달라붙잖아요. 그래서 이렇게 짜장면 볶듯이 꿀을 늘려요. 4가닥 8, 16, 16, 32, 32 64, 64, 128, 128, 256, 256, 512, 512, 중간 굵기 1000가닥, middle size 1000. 얇아질수록 입에서 사르르 녹으니까요. 삼촌이 요 실처럼 만들 거예요. Keep going. It's more thin, not broken, melting your mouth. 2,000가닥 2,000, 4,000가닥 4,000, 8,000가닥 8,000, 16,000가닥의 실이 이렇게 나와요. 16,000. So not broken, it's melting your mouth. And show you next step, season 2. 자, 2탄은 여기인데 우리 한 발자국 옆으로 와볼까요? 쭉 와보세요. 자, 방금 만든 실을 얼마나 얇게 뽑았는지 보여줄게. 하이라이트. 자, 갑니다. Show you highlight. 자, it's honey very sticky, but it's cornstarch, so not sticky. But powder taste not good, so shaking powder. 머리카락 같아요? 엘사 머리카락보다 얇죠? 근데 전분 가루는 텁텁해요. 먹을 때는 탈탈 털어줍니다. 그리고 한입 크기로 잘라서 실은 솜사탕처럼 살살 녹지만 안에 고소한 아몬드 땅콩을 넣어서 겉에는 살살 녹고 안에는 씹히면서 고소한 맛. 이게 임금님 과자 완성이죠. 알몬드, 피넛, 세스민, 블라블라블라, 넛, 롤링 돌돌 말아서 쏘. 임금님과 전서. No cook just, but a little dry and sticky. So with the coffee tea, very nice. But it's
And here's Mummy carefully unboxing the Korean sweets, which were actually so melt in the mouth, so amazing. Just honestly, everything the guy said it was. All right, lovely. So if you know me at all, you know I'm a sucker for a pretty cafe, and Seoul is full of them. I found this on Insta, I think, and I had to go, obviously. And here we are. It's called Mamma Mia, and it is just so beautiful, so picturesque, and it's like a little floresty kind of garden vibe. Love, love, love. There's a bit of a catch. There's like a minimum amount of stuff you have to buy to be able to dine in. I guess it's because people come in for photo ops, and you get why. The desserts are absolutely beautiful. They look amazing, and they actually live up to the way they look. They taste brilliant as well. We got this strawberry yogurt cake slice and cappuccinos, and they were really, really good. The coffee, you know what, wasn't the best, I'll be honest with you, but the cake was genuinely, genuinely good. And it's time for some parting photos on this beautiful pink wall and this beautiful interior and exterior. I don't think I wanted to leave, but I had to. And yes, I did match my outfit to the cafe. This is another place that I'd been wanting to cover for ages. Even the first time I was in Seoul, I really wanted to go to this place, which is the Iwa Womens University. I think I'm pronouncing the name right. I could be wrong. The Korean names are a little bit tough, but this is so beautiful. It is so aesthetic, and it's very like fairy tale, something that I would have seen in the UK. And the buildings look so historic, and there's just such a calm vibe about it, and just everyone's very quiet. Not a lot of students around when we went there on that particular day, but it's just so beautiful, honestly, and picturesque. So yes, we did take a bunch of pictures, obviously, and kind of twirled around in front of the building because, why not? And yeah, this was such a hangout spot, and we sat and just kind of enjoyed the environment, the ambience, and really glad I finally got to see it. So as you guys probably already know, Korea is known for its various beautiful settings of Starbucks, and Starbucks basically are around every corner. I had been researching the most beautiful, almost unique Starbucks to go to, and I found this one, which is basically right on the river, and it is beautiful. So it was a really cold, really windy day, but we decided to go anyway, and honestly totally worth it. But one downside is that it's very difficult to find seating there because it's always full. People are always sort of inside, and they like to sit for hours. Once we sat down, we really did realize why people stay there for so long, because it's so relaxing and so serene, and it's just so beautiful. It feels like you're in the middle of the ocean, and yeah, we really, really recommend this place. Honestly, if you're in Korea, you have to go. This was our last night in Seoul, and we wanted to make it an evening to remember. And look at that sunset, really. I saved this spot for last because it was truly the best, and it's just one of those really famous photo op places, and here's me getting mine. I love this place, and it was just honestly one of the prettiest places we'd been to. Wasn't easy to find the place, but it's a rooftop kind of cafe. Love. Also, on a side note, the best tiramisu I had in Seoul, and a little bit costly, but really worth it because honestly, look at the view. We couldn't sit outside because it was so cold, but the inside had a really beautiful Christmassy vibe as well, and we just sat there reminiscing about our time in Seoul, and it was just such a perfect end to the entire trip. We absolutely loved it. The cafe's name is Soulism, and just thank me later when you do find it.